Hello and welcome. Regular viewers of this channel may have watched my previous videos of comparing these two before. I've done 2 videos about these. For your information, Thermalright manufactures these coolers in both aluminum and copper. The copper version is a lot heavier and costs twice more. Naturally, people tend to think that the copper version is superior. After all, copper has the highest thermal conductivity of any common metal. However, my last video comparing these two showed that these two were virtually the same in performance. I did retest, but the results were still the same. That video was about a year ago, and now I feel it's time to test these two once more to verify my last results. There are a few things I'm going to do differently this time. First of all, I am going to measure the weight, which was something I didn't do last year. Secondly, I am going to use the same fan on both, because some comments did point out that the fan may have had different spec. However, in my knowledge, the 92mm fans used on these are identical, just different in color. Still, whatever the case, I am going to use the same fan on both. As for the weight of these, the aluminum one came out 263 grams. The copper version came out 507 grams, which is almost twice. It is indeed a lot heavier objectively. But do keep in mind that the surface to dissipate heat remains the same for both. The artificial load is created by Blender 3D application, which allows me to control how many CPU threads I can utilize, thus allowing me to control TDP. I am going to render a scene I created by using all threads, therefore pushing the TDP to max. The Intel 265K processor can push all the way up to 200 watts on this motherboard safely. Initially, it started out strongly by showing it handling 220 watts. However, it soon came down and stabilized at around 180 watts TDP. The number itself is decent for the size of the heatsink. This is a 53mm height cooler after all. Now, when I dialed down the load to around 125 watts TDP, 92 degrees Celsius was the temperature. Given the fact that this is an open air test, it's safe to assume that this heatsink cannot handle 125 watts. It is now time to test the aluminum version. Logically, there is no way the aluminum version is going to be better than the copper version. Regardless, the number to beat is 180 and 92. Let's see how well this will do against its heavier brother. Interestingly, the aluminum version behaved exactly the same as its copper brother. The maximum TDP hit 220 initially and then stabilized at around 180 watts. When the artificial TDP was dialed down to 125, the temperature was also 92 degrees Celsius. These two are remarkably the same in spite of being made with 2 different materials. In the end, I've got the same result as before. 11 months ago, I compared these two, and they performed the same. Fast forward now, they also performed exactly the same. I believe now, with confidence, that these two perform the same, and the copper version is simply a waste of money. This conclusion does beg a question. Why didn't the copper version perform better? It's a valid question. Historically, heat sinks made of copper have been proven to be better. But why doesn't that apply here? Honestly, I don't have a good answer to that question. Whatever the case, the bottom line is that you should choose the aluminum version and save your money. I must emphasize that tests conducted a year apart ended up having the same result. Based on that, I have little doubts that the copper version isn't what it should be. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.